Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weekly Wednesday Facebook Lives. I am Zara Premji, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario in Canada. And every week on Wednesday, I come on live to do a little crafting show. And the time varies. The last few have been in the evening time around 8:30, and when my schedule allows, I do it at around 2:00 p.m. So anyway, I'm here today and I'm going to be showing you how to make a trendy card in paper crafting right now. It's called a Slimline card. And for those of you that are have been crafting for a while or that scour Pinterest, I'm sure that you've seen these all over the place. I made my very first one today, and so I thought it would be fun to share with you. So I will be sharing how to make the card, the products used for the card. I'll share the measurements, and I will also show you how to make a coordinating envelope. So when you happen to jump on, please say hello. I love to see your comments. I love to see where you're from. So please do tell me where you are watching from. And I will have a prize drawing next week for anyone that comments on the video or shares the video, okay? So the prize that I have is an awesome birthday stamp set. It's called Hooray to You. And this stamp set would be good for anybody, whether you are a beginner or an avid crafter. It's a really great, it's got 6 stamps in it, and there are some large, well, there's a large one here, and then there's some really tiny ones, and it's perfect for birthdays. But there's also some sentiments that say time to celebrate, hooray to you. So anyway, it's a great versatile stamp set. And so if you comment or share the video or do both, you'll get extra entries into the prize drawing next week. Hello, Shams. How are you doing? It's nice to see your name pop up. So I'm just going to go ahead and find this on my own computer to make sure that I can see comments. And as you're jumping on, like I said, just say hi and tell me what you're up to. How has life been for you over the last couple of weeks? For us, we have had some changes because we are back to school and back to work. And so it's been an interesting time, to say the least, just kind of getting back into a routine and just managing with all of the guidelines and restrictions and things like that. All 3 of my kids are back in school. My eldest is in high school, so he's doing half a day in school every other day, and then he's home doing online learning for the alternate days. So that's been a bit interesting. And then I myself am back in the schools, and that also has been interesting. So okay, so Shams, you're so good. You have some time to watch. I'm so happy. Okay, I can't seem to find this on my computer, so hopefully it'll pop up at some point soon. There we go. And we are going to get started in just a few minutes. I'm going to flip the camera down. I'm going to share some news and announcements. I'm going to show you some samples using, I'm using 2 different stamp sets today. Actually, 2 different product bundles in our holiday catalog. So I'm going to show you some cards featuring either of those, and then we're going to get started. It's not going to be a really long project. That some of the work has already been done, and it's an easy one to recreate if you have the right tools and supplies. And so I hope that you'll stick around, and please do comment and tell me what you think of the projects, and just chat amongst yourselves as well. So while sometimes when I'm doing my die cutting and stuff, it takes a little bit of time, so just comment and talk to each other, okay? So look away for a second, and I'm going to flip the camera down and we will get started. Okay, let's see if this is positioned correctly. Just give me 1 second. I still haven't figured out how to do this with, you know, with more finesse. I think it always shakes a little bit, but okay. Let me just say hello to a few other people that I've seen jump on. Hello, Maureen. Hi, Kathleen. Oh, it's good to see some names popping up, some familiar names. Thanks for joining. And if you're watching me for the first time, please do also say hello. I love to get to know people. I've made some new friends online through doing these Facebook Lives, and I would love to get to know you as well. So a couple of things that I want to share with you. We have an exciting paper pumpkin kit coming out for the month of October. And the theme is called Joy to the World, or the paper pumpkin kit is called Joy to the World. I was supposed to be receiving my September kit today, but FedEx has not been kind to me and it's stuck somewhere. So it's saying that it's still in Memphis, but it should have arrived today. So I can't show you what the contents are of the current kit, but I can tell you that the Joy to the World kit, which is coming in October, is going to have all the materials and supplies to make 8 cards and envelopes, okay? So it's a themed kit, and Paper Pumpkin, for those of you that have not experienced it before, is an all-inclusive subscription box. And what that means is that you'll get everything that you need in the box for some cute crafting projects. So you don't have to have any experience, you don't have to have a whole bunch of tools or supplies. Basically everything that you need is at your fingertips. And if it's your very first time subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, then you will also get a clear block in your kit that you can use for your stamps, and then you'll reuse for any future paper crafting you might want to do. And if you subscribe with me, you will get a free Happy Mail package coming your way with some alternate projects and a little gift. So that is Joy to the World, and I will post the link in the description as to where you can subscribe to that. The next thing I wanted to share with you is that I am part of a tutorial bundle group. We call ourselves the Creative Stampers, and we have 11 people in our group, and every month we submit photos and tutorials of projects that we've created, and then we compile it all together in a really nice PDF document that we can share with others. So for this month, we did actually a mega bundle where we each submitted a fall and a Halloween themed project. And so that's why you'll see that there are 20 projects here, because 10 people had submitted 2 projects each. We're now 11. We've had a new member join us since this last tutorial. So where I'm going with this is, if you are on my team, you will always get these tutorials for free. So I send these for free to my team, and I'll talk a little bit more about how you can join my team if you would like. But if you place any size order with me, then you will get this tutorial bundle emailed to you. And so there's lots of crafting inspiration. There's supplies, measurements, instructions, so you can recreate the projects or use them as inspiration for your crafting. So that is this month's Creative Stampers tutorial bundle, and you can place any size order and you will get this for free in your email. And then if you do place an order of $50 or more, you will also get a free gift from me. So you will get a roll of the embroidered ribbon, which I will show you. It's this gorgeous ribbon. It's embroidered, as it's named, and it's a beautiful color and is perfect for fall, but again, you could use it with all sorts of other themed projects as well. So you'll be getting this for free from me if you place an order of $50 or more this month. And if your order is $100 or more, you will get a package of glitter star ornaments, which I don't have handy, but they're gorgeous as well. So that's it for the ordering, and I will post the link for my online store, and anything that you will be seeing tonight in the crafting can be purchased from the online store, okay? So if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me through Messenger, or you can email me, and I would be happy to help you. The other announcement that I want to share with you is regarding our starter kit promotion. We have an amazing starter kit promotion. Our starter kit is always on sale, so it always means that you can choose $165 in product, anything that you want, and you pay $135, no tax, no shipping. You also get a free paper pumpkin kit in your with your starter kit, and that's valued at $30. And then you will get a box of catalogs and other supplies in there that if you wanted to start running classes or workshops or just sharing them with friends and family, you can do that. But what's really extra special about the starter kit in September, and this expires on September 30th, is that you are going to get all sorts of other goodies for free. So you can see from the graphic here, what you're seeing here are card packages, and so you will get 8 of each that you see here. So there's 16 card packets, which you could use right away to start with your crafting. You're also going to get 2 free stamp sets. One is Queen Anne's Lace and the other is So Much Love. The combined value of these 2 stamp sets is $50. Okay, so work with me here in terms of math. There's 50 here. I would say each card kit is probably worth $2. So you're getting 16 card kits, so that's another $32. And then you're also going to get a free package of rhinestones, which are valued at about, I think they're $6.75 Canadian. So you're looking at almost $90 worth of product that you're going to get in addition to the amazing starter kit deal. So there's another flyer here that just shows you everything that's kind of broken down, but it's a fantastic time to stock up on your crafting supplies, and you are going to just love all of the supplies that come with it, because you can, it's basically like having a 16 card class to start right away. So it's not often that Stampin' Up! Will throw so much free stuff into that starter kit because it's already such a great deal. So definitely something to take advantage of if you are interested, or if you're building a bit of a wish list of supplies and you just want to be able to get it at a discount. All right, so I'm going to show you in the holiday catalog which products we're going to be playing with today. So we are going to, like I said, we're making a Slimline card. It's going to be fall themed, and we are going to be using some products from the Gilded Autumn Suite. So I don't normally make so many fall themed projects, but I have to say I've fallen madly in love with this suite. The paper, the brushed metallic cardstock, all of the embellishments, trinkets, the ribbon, it's all just, it just makes my heart happy. So we're going to be using a stamp from the Beautiful Autumn stamp set, and then we're also going to be using the Love of Leaves bundle. So this would be a really good time for me to show you some samples using some of these fall products. So I'll tell you really quickly, the Love of Leaves bundle is a stamp set and coordinating set of dies. In the dies you get 13, and so they cut out the outline of the image, but they also have these gorgeous dies that you can cut out and then do the stitched veining on them, and it's beautiful, and you'll get to see how that works. There is one die that I will be using on my card, but I don't actually have the die, so I've already pre-cut the die, pre-cut for you, because I've given the die to my helpers who are helping me prepare for my upcoming stamp camp. Okay, so here are some samples using the Love of Leaves. So you can see here that they have cut out the outline, and you can see the plaid tidings paper showing through the background. So gorgeous card. It's simple, but so gorgeous. And then this one here, the leaves are stamped and die cut, and the stitched veining, the dies for the stitched veining have also been used here. And then the sentiment has been heat embossed, and there's just lots of beautiful stuff going on here. Excuse me, I love the colors and just the jewel tones. Everything is beautiful. This is one of my favorite cards that I had received in the swap. This is from my friend Shelly Cutler, Shelly Harper, and she did this gorgeous background using the leaves, and then did the dies to highlight the stitched veining, and then heat embossed the sentiment, which I love, that says "Hope changes everything." And in this stamp set, the sentiments are just stunning, and I love that they're not so limited to Thanksgiving. So there's none of the sentiments here say Happy Thanksgiving. They can be used for this time of year, but I just love that the sentiments say things like "Hope changes everything," "I thought of you today," "Your friendship is something I know I can count on," "I'm so glad you're in my life," "Hello," and "Thank you." And so what I love about this stamp set is that for anyone that you want to give a card to during this time of year, or anyone that might be celebrating a birthday, or that you want to give a thank you card to, this stamp set is beautiful for that. So carrying on, we've got some here using the Gilded Autumn Suite. So this one's in French. The stamp set also comes in French, and you can see a lot of the different coordinating products here. So the designer series paper, the basket weave ribbon, and then the stamp set has this coordinating punch, which is amazing. This one is done with a bit of a wreath here and some leaves. I'm going to go fast through these so we can get crafting. And then you can just see the variety of projects that you can do using this gorgeous suite. So if you don't already have it, I would highly recommend you consider ordering it. And I think that it's just going to have lots of possibilities and versatility for you, okay? This one here, the sentiment is from the Love of Leaves, and they've used some Wink of Stella on the embossing here. It's just a gorgeous card. Okay, so are you guys ready to get crafting now? Hello, Margaret, Heather. Hello, Karen. Thanks so much for joining. Karen, what time is it in Australia? I would love to know because I am terrible about knowing the time differences. So tell me what time it is there. Okay, so are we ready to get started? Here is my card. And like I said, it's a slimline card, so it's different than the measurements I usually do, and most of us do for our card making. And I joked in my post earlier when I was mentioning that I was going to be going on live that the only thing slim about me right now are these cards, because my goodness, have I ever enjoyed my share of baked goods while I've been home, and potato chips. What has been your favorite snack while you've been home? Because I'm not really discriminating. I'm loving all of it, but I really need to get out of the habit because otherwise I'm going to have to go shopping for a new wardrobe soon. Anyway, back to the card. So this card here is there's a whole bunch of different things going on, and I'm going to share with you how you can make a slimline card. So the first thing that you will need is a piece of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 7 inches. So you can use one sheet of cardstock to be able to make one card base. And I've just scored it at 3.5. Okay, so it's the 7 inches going this way, 8.5 inches going that way, and then you score it at 3.5. And I just used the scoring blade from my Stampin' Trimmer, which I just love. And then you're just going to really decorate it whichever way you want. So I've got some layers going on here. And so my first layer here is a piece of early espresso, and I've just cut it at 1/4 inch shorter than the length and the width. So it measures 8.25 by 3.25. Okay, so because this was 8.5, I've just cut 1/4 inch off, and then because this is 3.5, I've cut 1/4 inch. So my first layer is 8.25 by 3.25. And then on my sample, I had done my mint macaron 1/4 inch shorter, but because I like the look of just having a tiny bit of the layer showing, I did this one a little larger. So I just cut off 1/8 inch. It's 10:48 a.m. in Australia. Okay, so you guys are 9, 10, 11, 12. I can't do the math. Like 14 hours ahead, maybe? Math is not my strong suit when I am doing a live video. So this is kind of the base of the card. So before we start to put that together, we're going to do some of our die cutting. So I've done 2 of the leaves here. I've done one in early espresso and one in crumb cake. And I know those of you that know me, you better sit down for this because I am using Cajun Craze. And I've used it more in the past year than I have in the 7 years that I've been stamping. So it's actually growing on me as a fall color. I'm not minding it so much, and I know that anyone that's on my team would be shocked by that, but I'm going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I use this in every Facebook Live and pretty much every project that I do now. I'm actually just going to turn it sideways so you can see. And so for those of you that don't yet have this tool, it is fantastic. We have been waiting for this for a really long time. And when you order the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you get everything that you need with it. So you will get your main platform, you get this thin die adapter, and then you also get 2 clear plates. So you actually don't need to purchase anything in addition to what comes with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But it's compared to the previous machine that we used to have, I find there's so much better functionality with this. I love that it folds up, so when you don't have your platforms on, you can just fold it up like that. Sorry, that was really loud. And you can just, it makes it more portable. So sometimes I take my my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine upstairs to watch TV with my husband while I do some die cutting, and I just find it's fantastic for that. So this is actually something which, if you don't have it and you haven't already bought the starter kit, you could actually put this in your starter kit. It retails for $163, but if you wanted to do the starter kit, you could actually get it for $135, no tax tax, no shipping. So it's a fantastic tool. I think it adds a lot to any project, and I will show you how to use it. So I'm just creating a sandwich. What's great about the tool is that it has everything's numbered, so it tells you what sort of sandwich you need to make when you are using different functions. So right now I'm die cutting, and so I'm using my main platform, the adapter, and then the 2 clear plates. And I just pulled out a package of brand new clear plates today, so they look nice and shiny and sparkly. Hello, Brenda. Thanks for joining. Thanks for popping by. It's great to see your name pop up. Okay, so that is it for the die cutting. Like I said, I had done some of the other die cutting before. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some sponge daubers to add a little bit of color. Now, I will admit I don't tend to do this a whole lot, but I love the look of it. And so let me just get my ink. So I'm going to use Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, and yes, Cajun Craze. So when I did this earlier today, I got a little bit of a mark on kind of the center of the leaf, which I'm going to try and avoid doing now. But I can't make promises because I'm trying to get into this little narrower spots between the leaves. And so sometimes I'm just going to dab off a little bit. So I'm just using a sponge dauber. I've dabbed a little bit off onto my scrap paper, and I'm just, this is something I didn't do earlier, but I'm just going to actually lift the leaf here. Oh, see, I did it again. That's okay. Still looks pretty, I think. Might want to do a little bit more on the edges. I'm probably going to have to practice this a few times to get a little bit more precise with my daubing. So I'm just doing this to add a little bit of dimension on the edges of the leaf. Brenda, I feel like you use sponges and daubers a lot. Do you have tricks? Do you have some tips for me for this one? If so, I'd love to hear. So that's the Cajun Craze one. I'm just going to dab some of that excess off, and then I will go in with the, let's go in with the Early Espresso. And I'm just going to use my fresh sponge dauber because I don't want to mix the ink colors. And just going to do the same thing again here, just going around the edges. I'm going to just try and stay away from the more narrow parts of the leaf because I seem to be a bit klutzy with this. Hello, Bruno. How are you, my friend? Making a mess here with my sponge daubers, but I am having fun. Okay. All right, so there's that one, and then we're going to do the last one here in Crumb Cake. So I'm going to close this up. I'm going to keep my Early Espresso because we're going to use that for the sentiment. So just going to do a little bit more daubing here. And this just, again, gives it a lot of dimension. When you look at leaves, especially in the fall, you'll see that they're rarely ever just one color. So you'll see kind of like a different tone on the edges of the leaves. And so I find that using the sponge dauber gives you a little bit of that look. So it just makes them look a little bit more real. All right, I have done a terrible job of that daubing part. The rest I think I will be okay with. So I'm going to now use my Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp this sentiment. I'm making this a thank you card because I do send out a lot of thank you cards. And so I'm using the sentiment from the beautiful Autumn Suite that says thank you. And the Love of Leaves does have a thank you stamp, but I wanted one that's a little larger because I'm doing a Slimline card. I wanted the sentiment to be a little wider. And for my die cut, I used the Ornate Frames dies and I just loved the size of that label, and I thought it would go perfectly with this card. Well, thank you, Bruno. I appreciate that. Okay, so the other thing that I've also used here is the brushed metallic cardstock. I am in love with this. It's got 3 different colors. There's a darker copper, and then there's a gold, and then there's this kind of champagne color. And I thought that it was a really nice backdrop for the leaves. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to stick 1 leaf on each of the circles. And I used the Stitched Shapes dies for this particular card. I use them often. In fact, I have 2 packs of the Stitch Shapes dies because when I am running any kind of classes or workshops, I tend to use them a lot, and so it helps to have a double set. Are there things that you have in your craft room that you have doubles of? Like besides things like dimensionals and, you know, Stampin' Seal and that kind of thing, do you have tools that you tend to feel like you need to have extra of? There's probably like 3 different die sets that I have. The rectangles I have 2 of. The Stitched So Sweetly dies, which is one that came out in our annual catalog. I have 2 of those. Not our annual, sorry, it was our last spring mini catalog. So I've just gone ahead and put a little bit of Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to try to position this. Okay. So you might be thinking, well, what kind of envelope, if you haven't made slimline cards, you might be wondering what size envelope you might put this in. And I'm actually going to show you how easy it is to create an envelope. If you do have a letter size envelope, you can absolutely use that. That's like the kind that you would get, you know, at an office supply store, but usually the ones that I have seen are all kind of just plain white, and I felt like this card called for more than just a plain white envelope. So I will show you how to create a custom envelope for this card, and it's super easy to do. And as long as you have some paper and you have a trimmer with a scoring blade, you could definitely do this. So I'm just adding in a strip of designer series paper. This is from our Gilded Autumn designer paper, and this is actually where I pulled the colors out of. So I used this as my jumping off point, and then I picked the colors that I was going to use for the leaves. So that's a really great way when you are designing cards to kind of get your inspiration, is just to start with a pack of patterned paper, pull out 1 or 2 patterns that you want to use, and then just kind of use that as your foundation. Okay, so you see how quickly this card is coming together with a little bit of die cutting. It's quite easy to put together. So I started with this one in the center because I thought that I could figure out where the other 2 would go, but I guess it wasn't quite in the center. So here we go. All right, and then the next thing I'm going to do is just to add some ribbon. So I'm using the Gilded, sorry, it's not the Gilded Autumn, it's the Basket Weave and Metallic ribbon, and I'm just going to do kind of a faux bow. Okay, so you can see here it almost looks like there's a bit of a bow behind it if I had these going the right way, but I just want to kind of curl it behind the sentiment here. Hello Terry, thanks for joining. And so to do that, I'm just going to add a strip of adhesive, and then I'm going to work with what I've got here. So I'm just going to leave about 1 inch hanging over, and then I'm just going to curve that like so. And then I want to curve it again, and then I want the other end kind of hanging out like that. Okay, so it looks like there's a bow, but there's no knot there. Okay, so once you've got that done, I find that it helps to put the Stampin' Seal down just to kind of reinforce it. And then once you, not reinforce it, sorry, hold it in place. And then once you have that, you can put some dimensionals to reinforce that. Okay, and then once you are ready to stick that down, you can decide if you want it in the center. I still like mine on the side here. And then I'm just going to trim off this end here so that it's not sticking out too far past the bottom of my card. What do you guys think of that? The card is almost done. I'm just going to add on some of my favorite gems. Hello, Catherine. I'm excited to hang out with some of you at Stamp Camp next weekend. I have been a busy bee packing kits. There are so many kits that are getting ready to go out. The only thing that I am having some, that's hitting my panic button right now is I have been waiting for one item that was on back order. It was supposed to be coming back into the warehouse September 7th, but it didn't end up coming in till just a couple of days ago, and it's on its way to me. But like I said, FedEx has not been super nice, so I am just praying that it arrives in the next day or two, and then those packets are going out. Anyway, so this is the Slimline card. This is the first one, and the second one is not much different, except that I've put the sentiment on a little sideways. So I'm just going to ease that off a little bit and then reposition it. So those are the two cards, and now I'm going to show you how to make the envelope. So for the first one that I did here, you can see, look at that. Isn't that fun? I think I should have just put the flap on the outside, but this fits the card perfectly. It gives it actually a little bit of space, and I just made this from a piece of cardstock. Okay, and then I just stamped it with the leaf just to give it a coordinated look. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but instead of using cardstock, we're going to use the designer series paper. So this is the Gilded Autumn designer series paper, and I'll just quickly show you the patterns in the paper. I'm pretty sure you can probably see this big mess on my desk now. It's a 12 by 12 pack of paper, and on one side there are these beautiful gold and copper foil elements. So I'm just showing you the sides that have the copper and gold foil, so you can see that here. What's awesome about this paper is that these leaves here can be punched out with the Autumn Punch Pack, which is fabulous. So you can use them as little embellishments on your cards. And then the other side of these patterns does not have the foil elements to it, but you can see that they still have these gorgeous patterns. Whoops. And again, the leaves and the acorns on here can also be punched out using the Autumn Punch Pack. So it's a gorgeous pack of paper. I'm showing you 6 by 6, but it comes in 12 by 12. So I'm just going to get out my trimmer. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm happy you guys are all looking forward to it. I am too. You guys are in for a really fun day. And if this is the first time that you're ever doing Stamp Camp with me, I appreciate you investing in me, and if you've attended it before, we've got lots of fun surprises and goodies coming your way, and I think you're just gonna have a fabulous time. Okay, so we are going to first start by scoring on the short side. So I just pulled out the arm from my Stampin' trimmer, and I'm going to score on the short side at 2.5. And I'm just going to be careful not to score too many times because I'm using designer series paper, so I don't want to create, I don't want to cut through the paper. And then 6.5 is my other score line, okay? So 2.5 and 6.5 on the short side. And then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and I'm going to score it at 1.5 and 10.5. So this is why you need the arm out, so that you can have an accurate measurement there. So 10.5, okay? And that's all you need to do with your Stampin' trimmer with your scoring tool. So then you're going to take your bone folder and just fold along the score lines and just burnish. Just again with very light pressure. You just want to give it a little, kind of a nice burnish, but not so hard that you cut through the paper or fray it. Okay, so then you're just going to do that on all 4 sides, and then I'm going to show you where to cut. Okay, so I'm just going in with my scissors here, and I'm going to cut on an angle like so. So I'm just going to kind of miter it a little bit, and then I'm going to cut along this score line here. So I'm just removing the 2 outer flaps at the bottom. This is going to be the bottom of the envelope. Whoops. Just going to remove these flaps here, and then I'm going to do the same thing at the top. So I'm going to cut here, and then I'm going to cut this on a bit of an angle as well. I'm using these large scissors. They're supposed to be ribbon scissors, I think. Stampin' Up! Used to sell them a really long time ago, and then they were discontinued. And I find when I'm trying to do big cuts like this, oops, that these larger scissors help me, although you can use your paper snips for that. Okay, so that's all you need to do to kind of have the bare bones of your envelope. And then I'm just going to go in with my trio punch, my fancy trio punch, and I'm just going to round the corners here, just to give it a little bit of a finished look. If you don't have this punch or anything that can round corners, you can even just use your scissors and just kind of carefully round the edges, or you could just leave them square. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is put the envelope together. And I'm just gonna take a bunch of Stampin' Seal, and let's hope I got this in the right place. Okay. And then I will put a little bit here and then create this little flap. All right, it's kind of bubbling up a little bit. I probably should have cut a little bit more off the sides at the bottom. Let's see if I can still do that. It might be a bit late. So on these edges here, you probably want to trim off a little bit more, just so that when you are going to fold this up, it doesn't kind of bubble up like that. It's not the worst thing ever. It still looks nice. And okay, and then the last thing you want to do is, of course, not leave your envelope naked. And so I am going to just take my Early Espresso ink, and I'm using one of the leaves from the Love of Leaves stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp that right down there. And that is it, my friends. That is how you make a slimline card and a coordinating envelope. What do you guys think? I hope that you like this. I really enjoyed making this project, and it's just something that I can see myself doing a lot of, because sometimes I feel like when we are making cards that I run out of space to put all of the fun things that I want to put on. So with this card here, it gave me the opportunity to kind of throw 3 big leaves on there and lots of designer series paper and just lots of fun decorative elements. So you can keep these really simple as well. You don't have to do so much die cutting. You could literally just stamp on the background and create a really simple card. But all you need is 1 sheet of cards. You could just do this with 2 sheets of cardstock, 1 for the envelope and then 1 for your card. I will post the measurements in the description. So if you want to try and recreate something like this, you'll have the measurements at your fingertips so that you can use it for that. So please do tell me what you think about the cards. I hope that you love them, and I hope that you'll join me again next week. I'm just going to flip the camera back to see some comments and say bye to all of you. Just give me 1 second. All right. Okay. Let me just read some of the comments. Oh, thank you, Karen. I'm glad you loved it. Thank you, Maureen. Hello, Jan, Zara, Sharon, Farana. Thank you so much for joining, guys. It's nice to see some new names popping up. If you caught us in the middle, you can definitely go back to the beginning and catch the replay. And like I said, if you leave comments and if you share the video, you're going to be entered into a drawing for this birthday stamp set that's called Hooray to You. I know it's backwards right now when you're looking at it. But just comment, and if you share the video, you'll get an extra entry. So I appreciate all of you. I'm grateful to you all for joining me, and it's great to see your names popping up and your comments. It always makes me happy when I see comments, which is why I'm not above bribery to get you to comment, and I will give away free Stampin' Up! Product for that. So that's it for me tonight. I will be back here next Wednesday, and like I said, I will post all the measurements and supply list in the description in a little while, so you'll be able to catch that there. And I hope you guys have a great night and a great rest of the week, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.